Hello, my name is Ginger Sib. Today I'll be talking about how to play tennis. So I'll first be going over the main parts of a tennis racket and kind of the differences between a beginner racket and a more advanced racket, and then kind of giving a brief discussion of what the courts are like and the differences between playing singles and doubles. I would love to actually show how to play tennis, but unfortunately the weather has not been permitting to do this. So first, with tennis, there's a few different types of rackets you can get. They all look exactly the same. A standard racket kind of looks like this. And most people will not know the difference between a beginner racket like this and a more advanced racket like this. So the difference is definitely a price range. So beginner rackets typically range from around $30 to $50, while more advanced and pro rackets could be around $300 or more. So the main difference is the weight of a racket and just the durability, how long it will last you, depending on how long you're playing, and just if you're playing for multiple years and you want to use the same racket, or if you just play competitively or not. So the different parts of a racket is every racket has the exact same parts. So you have the head of the racket, which is the part that the ball will be hitting, at least the part that you want the ball to be hitting. And then this is the neck of the racket and the body of the racket, as we like to call it. And so what you really just need to know is just you grip the handle, and there's a few different grips you can use. It just depends on how you like it. And we call grips like 3 o'clock grips a lot of times, because there's different knobs on the handle for where you can grab it. And so a lot of times you want your knuckle to be like where 3 o'clock would be, like on the clock. So another part of the racket that this doesn't come with rackets, but a lot of people add them, is something called a dampener, and that's what this little cow is right here. And you can have fun ones. A lot of people just have like basic color ones or tennis balls, or you can get fun little animal ones. And what a dampener does is it kind of absorbs the energy of the ball a little more. So it has a little more power when you hit it, I guess is a good way to put it. So now that we have the basics of what the tennis rackets are, I'm going to kind of explain the courts. So most people know what a regular tennis court looks like. It is just pretty much like a big square on the ground with a net in the middle, kind of like a volleyball court. It has around the same dimensions as one too. And they'll have different lines. So there's kind of like a box inside of the one box on the floor. And the different lines on the court means different things for when you're playing. So if you're playing singles, you're playing on a smaller court, so you're playing in that smaller box. While if you're playing doubles, you're using the whole court. And so when you're playing tennis, you have to serve to start a point. And serving, you switch sides on which side you're serving on, if you're starting in the right back or the left back. If you're starting in the right back, you have to serve into the left box on the other side of the net, because it's set up with 2 boxes on top and then a rectangle on the bottom. Is what kind of the court looks like, is a good way to explain it. And you want to get into the opposite box from where you're standing. And so you have 2 tries to get your serves, and if you don't, it's the other team's point. And so that's pretty much what there is about the tennis courts to know. And then also the difference between playing singles and doubles is obviously singles, you are the only person on your team playing against another person in a match. While for doubles, you have 2 people on your team and you're using the full court instead of the smaller court, and you're playing against another group of 2 people. In the actual sport of tennis, people will get confused a lot because the points are a little confusing. So instead of saying 0, so when you're at 0-0, you say love, love is what it's called. And then it goes 15, 30, 40, game. But then people will also get confused because if you're at 40-40, you don't say 40-40, you say like deuces and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different little names that people use for tennis, and so it can be confusing for beginners. But that's pretty much all I have time for today to discuss about how to play tennis. Unfortunately, like I said earlier, I wasn't able to give a proper demonstration on how to use the racket and how to really play because the weather has not been permitting to do so. But today I discussed the basics of a racket, the basics of an actual tennis court, and the differences between playing singles and doubles. Thank you so much.